A lot of people think entrepreneurship is about starting a business and making money, but that's really not the case. In fact, if you take a look around at the world's greatest entrepreneurs, they don't really care about business or making money. They care more about solving big problems. So for instance, Richard Branson, when he started Virgin, he started it because he was stuck in an airport and wanted to go on holiday, but there were no planes around that he could catch. Elon Musk wants to solve traffic congestion, so he's digging tunnels underneath LA. Throughout history, entrepreneurs like Branson and Musk have been coming up with creative solutions to problems that most people give up on. And that's because entrepreneurs think very differently about the world around them. And it's that thinking that elicits amazing problem-solving abilities. And just shoving it in the business world and thinking entrepreneurship is about business making money is gross negligence. Because if you've got the courage to explore what entrepreneurial thinking is, you suddenly start to realize that it can be applied everywhere to solve challenges. And that's the real power of what it means to think like an entrepreneur. So now let me teach you how to think like an entrepreneur so that you can apply the same thinking to conquer the challenges that you face right now. To teach you how to think like an entrepreneur, we're going to be using my framework, the Entrepreneurial Mind, and it's based on how every single entrepreneur thinks out there. So let me break it down for you. So entrepreneurship is really about taking an idea and achieving an outcome. But if that was so simple, everyone would be entrepreneurs, right? So what happens in between the idea and the outcome are these things in the middle called barriers, and they prevent an idea from ever becoming an outcome. Now, the good news is in my 20 years of working with this model, there's only 3 barriers you need to pay attention to. The first barrier is that internal barrier. That's that little voice in your head that says, oh, I don't know if this is good enough, or I don't know if this will work, or, you stuffed up breakfast last week. What makes you think you can go out there and implement this idea? Or it could be your confidence, the self-confidence in your people that you lead. If they don't believe in an idea or they don't believe in their own abilities to execute their idea or even have the right mindset to execute the idea, then you've got a problem. So the first barrier you have to conquer is the internal barrier. Once you've conquered your internal barrier, the second barrier you need to conquer is the external barrier. Now, most of the time, this relates to communication. How do you communicate your idea in such a way to get people to buy into it and love it and share it and do amazing things with it so that you can achieve the outcome? External barriers also include financial barriers. Maybe you just don't have the money or the budget to do it. It could be legal barriers because we could all do some cool stuff, but it's illegal. It could be political barriers, or it could even be environmental barriers. It's basically anything external to yourself and your organization. Okay, so once you conquer your internal barriers and you conquer your external barriers, the last barrier you need to conquer is sometimes it's an idea just won't work simply because you've got the wrong idea, you haven't tested it, or it's a bad implementation of the idea. And I see this a lot in startups that I work with. They've got something beautiful, but they think it solves one problem when it actually solves another. So that's when the pivot happens in the startup. So entrepreneurship to me, and in fact every single entrepreneur out there, is really about smashing down these barriers. And the more skilled you become as an entrepreneur, instinctively these barriers come down. So to give you an example, let's walk through the entrepreneurial mind with Elon Musk's new idea. Elon wants to solve traffic congestion. That's his idea. And his outcome is going to be building a set of underground transport networks underneath LA. So he's obviously got an idea that he loves and he believes in the idea. And because he's got credibility, everyone around him believes in the idea too. He's then got to communicate this idea to various stakeholders around the place. He's got to approve legal permits and things like that to dig underneath the city. He's also got to find suppliers and things like that as well. So all these external barriers he's got to smash down. And now what he's doing right now is that he's trying to bulletproof the idea and give it the best possible chance of success. And he's doing this by testing tunneling machines and reworking his calculations. And so he's instinctively, automatically following this framework already. And the outcome we'll see in good time. But this is how Elon Musk thinks, it's how Richard Branson thinks, it's how every single entrepreneur thinks. To apply entrepreneurial thinking to your set of challenges is pretty easy. You need to do 2 things. The first thing you need to do is work out what barriers are you facing right now. Are they internal barriers? Do you not believe in yourself and your ideas? Perhaps your people don't believe in themselves or their abilities. Perhaps they need the right mindset to be able to implement your ideas. Or maybe your challenges are external and you need to work out how to communicate your idea in such a way to get people to fall in love and love it and spread it far and wide. Or maybe you need to look at financial situations, budgets, things like that, maybe legal permits, maybe even policies and procedures. Or perhaps you're just looking to bulletproof your idea and run a whole bunch of experiments like Elon to work out which one of your ideas is bulletproofed. So that's the first thing you need to do. Identify what barriers you're facing right now. The second thing you need to do is, once you've identified these barriers, ask yourself, how can I smash these barriers down? What resources do I need? Maybe you want to bring in an external consultant, in which case you should definitely go ahead and get in touch with me, because I've got tools and programs that'll help you smash down all these barriers really quickly. I've been working with this model for the last 20 years, and over that time I've got to work with a whole bunch of organizations in different industries and sizes, and all of that collective perspective I've gathered over the last 20 years will help you smash down your own barriers very quickly so that you can implement your idea and achieve a strategic outcome. So that's really how all entrepreneurs think, and you too can apply this same framework to solve problems or conquer challenges that you face right now. I'm AJ Kulatunga. Thanks for watching this video. Whatever happens in business and in life, I wish you nothing but success. Take care.